Hi Instas, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new, welcome to. My name is Hinny, I am a spiritual astrologer, and today we are getting into the streams of creme brulee. This is, yes, Venus. Our series on Venus continues, and this is Venus in Aquarius. So I wanted to kind of title this one New Grooves. And the dates for this transit are roughly February 17th to March 12th. So this is, yeah, where we get into all things Venusian. And I don't actually yet have a dedicated video to Venus herself, but let me get on that. Stay tuned. But one of the things Venus rules is rituals, and the also the Saturnian masculine expression that is Aquarius can definitely be associated with such things as literal coldness and also refrigeration. And we have then a time of, I think, or opportunity to kind of pour warm water on like a stone floor or a really cold surface before we like step onto the floor. That's the image we have here. And Venus also rules the lungs and breathing. She is the vibe, she is the beat. She's like circles and cycles and also pleasant things. And it can be good for some of us to get back into things like Reiki, or to pick up something brand new like Reiki, or like breathing exercises. Breathing might become more of a vibe somehow or focus for you. And also we have Uranus here, very much involved right now in the cosmic conversation, in the divine dance. Uranus being the god of the skies, and the vibe is the skies then. And it can be a projection, I think, for some people, of our dreams into the big open, wide kind of time. And Aquarius, having Venus then transiting it, can also be about lessons and teaching of love. And this is, like, as I said, new grooves, new types of love. And it's also no surprise, right, that during Aquarius season, we have this whole Stanley Cup thing on TikTok, this crazy thing going on. And yes, this is in the literal time of the water bearer. And of course, we've just had Valentine's Day as I film. And yeah, in true contrarian Aquarian style, we'll have seen anti-V-Day sentiments and kind of happy Hallmark Day, and all that jazz. And we're also getting closer, of course, to Pisces season. I will make more videos on Pisces as we get there. But Pisces is the exaltation of Venus. So the vibe can increasingly be about those dreams and getting excited about kind of realizing things. And Aquarius season is like the submission of the patent. And now you're waiting, you're sleeping in excitement. So you've submitted that patent, and you could be like nervous or, in anticipation of all the things that could well come true or be tried out in Aries season, which is the spiritual spring and the real beginning of the new year. And it can be kind of like going to sleep and waiting to hear the news the next day. And of course, Aquarius season and Venus joining the fanfare now can introduce more vibes of feeling alone and alienated, and also free to be with our original thoughts. And Venus in Aquarius will also be about the different types of love. And I recently watched this Korean film called Dokudaeje, or Dog Days, and it obviously made me cry plenty times, as Korean films do, and because it's about dogs. But it was also a film about like the different types of loneliness and love that can be had, not just between dogs and humans, but also between different, like people of different classes, genders, and ages intersecting. And Aquarius season is often about things like pouring out your heart or emptying your pockets or giving away your time or whatever, to hear someone out or to accommodate something without discrimination. And Saturn rules things like carpentry, and it can be very much about, for some people, like an elder encountering us and like helping us connect this dot with that dot, or like leading us to chances that we can take, and or pointing us in the direction of things that we really can do, or times it can be a time where we really can get up and we really can make something. And I was also recently getting back onto Pokemon, my Pokemon Nintendo Switch game, Pokemon Violet, and I haven't played this game since I came here in Korea, which was 6 months ago. So it's been a while since I played last, but apparently when I started playing it, where I left off was where this futuristic bike-themed Pokemon that you ride around called Miraidon, who pretty much from the beginning of the game is what you ride on and use to fly and swim around the Pokemon world. Anyway, apparently we were having to go like into this time machine and go back to the future, because Miraidon had in the past, but like in the future, if that makes sense, been banished into my Pokemon world, and so we were going like back there. Are you keeping up? But anyway, like I just found that quite funny, since Saturn is the ruler of the banished and the exiled, and Aquarius can definitely be associated with outcasts and those fighting for their rightful place, or those who are into things like volunteering or causes that are for people who are cast out somehow, or exiled, or discriminated against somehow. And yeah, Aquarius can definitely be associated with fighting for the rightful place. Actually, the name of the Pokemon, Miraidon, reminded me of the Korean word mire, which translates to future. And I don't know if the Japanese word is the same, but anyway, I find that kind of cool. And Saturn ruled Aquarius. It's always cooler than we'd expect. And for many of us too, there can be a big, possibly even puffed up thing going on, because we have a lot of Plutonian and Martian and Uranian energy in the mix, but like big wins and feelings of retribution. And I also want to say it's an easy time to absolutely blow it all. So let's try not to do that unless we're absolutely certain that it's the golden ticket kind of move. And Venus in Aquarius is a transit that will also bring or amplify more gains and wins for those who want to do things differently. And I was reading recently that Australia introduced like a right to disconnect law or something like that, which forbids bosses from contacting employees outside of work hours. And I love that. And I mean, that should be like a basic common sense kind of thing, but it is amazing like how many countries don't yet legally protect people from having to like respond to emails and messages and calls when they're not being paid to do that. And Venus is a benefic, and she will bring more softness, more good stuff to wherever we have Aquarius in our birth chart. So let me know in the comments where you have Aquarius in your chart. And she will likely soften or ease some of the challenges that we might be facing in that house. The tone of this transit does include Pluto conjunct Mars as Venus enters Aquarius. And this is like the hot, steamy Valentine's vibes kind of extending into the weekend. We have Saturn in Pisces as well, hosting Venus. And so similar things that I discussed in my Mars in Aquarius video, check that out. But here it's more softening or more warmth, or more harmony coming in. Not always with Venus. Venus does have a lot of what we might call shadowy sides, of course, but generally it can be more warmth and harmony, and or more like tantalizing tempestuousness, especially with Mars there as well. And it's very much like an Aquarian party. I mean, come on, we've got so many planets in Aquarius now. And Uranus exactly squaring Mercury with Venus in the mix will be challenging us to calm the farm a bit, to like soften the blow or the edges somehow or for some purpose. And it can also be about choosing not to engage in conflict or to entertain haters and the like. And a very Venus in Aquarius thing is simply leaving people on red or blocking people that are like bothering you or like dirtying the vibe or like not passing the vibe check, and to do it like with no drama or explanation. And we'll also have Mars in Aquarius trining the moon in Gemini at the beginning of this Venusian transit. And in this, I read to kind of do something like call your mother, like or maternal figures in your life. And sometimes we need a mother's maternal figure's wise words before we can act on a certain thought or idea. And it can be more broadly about like passionate and exciting conversations with other people as well, and an increase in one-on-one meetings as well as the group meetings. We've got Mars in Aquarius making us want to really throw ourselves into something unusual. And so I do think it can be an easier time, yes, for introverted people to like step out, or for people with low social batteries to get out a bit more and to last a bit longer than usual. Okay, anyway, let's get into the rising signs, shall we? And your Venus in Aquarius potential experience. By the way, I'm from this month doing free astrology readings, so get in touch with me in the description box below for a free reading. But anyway, for Aquarius Rising, this is more bombastic vibes. This is more action, dynamite, possibly just more problems as well. But if they are problems, they're going to be like Venusian, you know, a bit saucy, a bit more like passionate kinds of problems, maybe to do with beauty or relationships or aesthetics or whatever. And for many Aqua Risings, though, this is like a feeling of new you, or like rekindling the better old you. This is, and I know you're going to have this on your mind, probably, but this is like, yes, dyeing your hair or getting a new hairstyle, a different style. This is also stuff pertaining to your body, your health, maybe some changes, and this is the time to get some awesome nails done or something like that. You've got Mercury in its joy in your first house as well. So for some, I would say, watch what you say. Venus might help those people now, those Aqua Risings, who typically have problems with like acting out of line with their mouth or with their communications. And for Aqua Rising, this can also be like connecting more with kids and pets, and maybe like connections that are more to do with women or like on the more feminine levels. Pisces Rising, then this is sexy time at night because Venus has a secret joy in the 12th house, and she is conjunct Mars as well, so it's like boom 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 Pisces, and Uranus is square Mercury too. This is like giving us this feeling of local hookups, and like Pisces Rising can also here get some help with stubborn ways of relating or mindsets, or like if certain things have been tripping you up, maybe unbeknownst to you, maybe you felt like cursed or something like that, it can feel a bit better for you with Venus here now. And another thing is increased likelihood to have an incredible dream or two. But as a Pisces rising, maybe you always have wacky dreams, but it could be a time where you're vibing a bit more somehow with the dreamscape. And also with states of highness, so be careful of like getting too drunk or high at night. Aries rising, have fun with your foreign friends, I want to say. This is also the time to be like spending maybe literal money, but like spending, yes, on your wishes and a continuation of investing in your long-term goals. So as long as it's nothing like totally whimsical or like pulled out of the hat, like random that might hurt you later, I think it's good to invest. And this is more of the good spirited sort of stuff for you, Aries. This is like friends and beneficial people being more available and like more easily connecting you to the things you want. It might be easier for you to schedule that meeting with that particular person. So jump on it, vibe with it, Aries. Taurus rising, we've got then loving your dreams. So I wanted to ask you, Taurus, like how much do you value your goals, Taurus? This is about vibing with consistency as well. Venus is the vibe. She's also one of your planetary rulers. She's your life path ruler as well, your chart ruler, Taurus rising. So like it can be a lot about you as well, this particular transit, and like switching it up in some sense as well, having this in Aquarius, and it can feel new or it can feel even uncomfortable. And there may also be a need or activation here for you to take bigger actions, to take more care of yourself, or to love yourself more, Taurus. And even this can be like an opportunity for you to fall back in love with your vocation, or some of you Taurus risings are finding you have this bright new idea or inspiration to fall in love with a new vocation or calling. Gemini rising, do you believe in magic? That's the question I have for you. So please believe in yourself now, Gemini. This can be new purposeful trips or traveling abroad or going far for some purpose, and there can be a bulgy kind of optimism coming through, which is also at the same time charming. And with the moon in your first house at the beginning of this Venus transit trining Mars, your like literal mother could have something big and bulgy to say to you that like inspires or pushes you somehow. It's easy during this transit for you to learn about self-care, Gemini, and this is also a time for taking responsibility and getting like into the studious, maybe geeky, nerdy vibes. Maybe some people will just be going to church, but also maybe like hitting the books again, Gemini. Maybe that's something to consider. Anyway, Cancer rising, you may need to borrow from your friends or get friends' help. And Venus in your 8th house can amplify the theme of debt, but as a benefic, it is more likely to be okay or smoothed out sooner than you think, Cancer. And this is also new or deeper bonds with other people. This transit also allows you to kind of vibe with your fears. Maybe it's a time to overcome one of your fears. I think we talked about this in the Mars in Aquarius video as well. But here it could just be like not just tackling your fears in a Mars in the 8th house way, but in a Venus in the 8th house way, realizing that there's nothing to be afraid of and like it actually feels fine. So you could actually overcome something quicker than you thought you would. And this can also be partners falling more in love with you, Cancer. This can be people more willing to offer you something, and you might be in a better position to say yes or to open your arms to favors that are coming back to you. Leo rising, this is your partners becoming more beautiful somehow. Maybe they're becoming richer somehow. Maybe they are in a better mood somehow. And this is also enemies for you, the 7th house. Enemies softening up, enemies gaining favor sometimes, and this is also you getting along more with others. The 7th house is the house of commiseration and negotiation, and I do consider Venus to be in her secret joy in the 7th house, similar to the 12th house. And for you, this then can be good sex or good evening dates, like lovely flowing conversations. Things in your relationships generally could just be getting better. Virgo rising, here we have alleviation of bad fortune. This can also be new people for you that you have to teach or manage somehow, and maybe Virgo, you are also able to redeem yourself somehow. Maybe you've had some kind of reputation down or minus, as they say in Korean, minus, something in your reputation was hit or twisted negatively, and it can be a time to redeem, Virgo. And also this can be working on or beautifying your CV, your resume, and it can be a perfect time for you to hire somebody for some like beautification process. Libra Rising, your risks might be paying off right now. There could be an alleviation also of the uncertain things in life. So what I have for you, Libra Rising, is like you can just have a bit more fun now. Things might feel a bit more balanced or harmonious for you. And also this is about risks, well thought out risks especially, and how they can pay off more for you now, especially when the moon is trining Gemini at the beginning of this transit. At the very beginning of this transit could be a great time for you, Libra, to go and take that risk. Again, as I was saying to Aries Rising, it can't be too like Mad Hatter. I personally think it has to be in alignment with something you've already been working on for the past like 11 months. So if it's related to that, then you can take that risk. Love and romance can also be more amplified for you if that's what you're looking for. Like dating can be more of a thing, and it can be easier for you to come by the joy that is had from kids or that is had from pets. And maybe someone will be getting a new pet, and this is like, yes, a fifth house activation. This is the joy, the true joy of Venus, and it can be just, I think, generally a great time or an opportunity for you to do something for charity or for a cause that is very dear to you. Scorpio Rising, then this is stuff like new house or maybe new home vibes. Maybe you're like beautifying or pinkifying your space or your room. Maybe also your roots somehow feel more pleasant. Like it's kind of like feeling more at home somehow, and problems at home or like from the past can be alleviated or softened now, Scorpio. Then maybe I have this image of like stormy waters getting calm now, or the water getting more placid now. And there can be mysteries as well, new mysteries for you, Scorpio, that are unfolding, and like I'm sure you will love that and vibe with that. And it could be where you really dive deep with pleasure, with joy, with interest into something mysterious. And this is also the foundation of joy. So it's like, this is like you suddenly perhaps feeling overwhelmed with happiness, Scorpio. Maybe you don't even know why, but this is Venus in your fourth house, in the most mysterious house, the most hidden house. And something can kind of bubble up that is joyful. Maybe if you're a Scorpio rising who has trouble just laughing or smiling, you know, like it could be just where you feel more open to be vulnerable in that way, like that, you know, during this Venus in Aquarius transit. And also this transit can be bringing women from your past as well. Sagittarius rising, this is new ways of relating. This is, you know, where things could be improved when it comes to your neighborly relations, when it comes to vibing more with your localities. That's also your digital localities. So the sites, the online communities, and like forums and whatever that you frequent on the daily, you can be getting more active. Things can get more improved there, or you're having more fun in those spaces. And things might be getting better when it comes to your friends and your siblings. The divine feminine is also found here in your third house. So you may be feeling the joy and the kind of feminine divinity of your local environment and your local community. So this is like passively being in touch with the signs around you in your environment. Capricorn rising then, finally, last but not least, this is new ways of spending. So spending is probably going to be a big theme for many Capricorn risings. Even way before this Venus transit, it could have been kind of ongoing. This is anyway, possibly for some, blowing your money. So do be careful. Mars, Uranus, Mercury, and Pluto, they're all kind of hard in the mix here right now. But there could be like new ideas as well, or prompts for you to get onto like better savings or investments. And this can also be simply getting into a new food, like, or a new drink kind of habit. I get this idea with this Aquarian energy in your second house of you like switching something up in your diet, and it's like tasty or nutritious, and anyway, it just becomes a good routine for you, and you're going to stick with it, especially if you have natal fixed placements anyway. Like maybe you are an Aquarius sun, or you're a Taurus sun or something. I think especially this can be really good for you to like set this new habit or routine that's going to last you a long time, maybe even a decade. And also, finally, it can be a good time to buy or to acquire quality items and assets. And that's what I've got for you this here Venus in Aquarius transit. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments how your Aquarius season is going, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.